Good day, everyone. I am Stephanie Shudad, and today I will discuss the Code of Ethics for Professional Teachers and its relationship with the internal stakeholders. But before that, I have a game here. It is called 4 Picks 1 Word. All you need to do is to guess what the picture is. Let's start. First picture. Can you guess what is this? So the answer is community. Second picture. You know this. The answer is teacher. So thank you for your cooperation, everyone. Now, the title of our topic this morning is the Code of Ethics for Professional Teacher, Relationship with the Internal Stakeholder. Our learning outcomes, we're going to identify how the professional teacher should relate to the learners, to the teaching community, and to the higher authority. So learners are the primary internal stakeholders. They have no choice over the kind of teacher given them. So now, how do you want your teacher to be? Or what do you want your teacher to be? Ano ba ang guro na gusto mo? So now, let us discuss the Article 8, which is the teacher and the learners. So let me read the Section 1. I have here the Section 1. A teacher has the right and duty to determine the academic marks and the promotion of learners in the subject they handle. Such determination shall be in accordance with generally accepted procedures of evaluation and measurement. In case of any complaint, teacher concerned shall immediately take appropriate action observing the process. So it is where the teacher has the authority to give marks or grade to its students in regards to the students' performance academically. So if queries may arrive or question may arrive, the teacher will present the record to a record of students rather. Like for example, let's say for example, you students, if you want a higher grade and you pass all the necessary activities, then a teacher will recognize that. And when not, expect lower grade. A problem may arise, ask the teacher why. So, kung ano lang yung ipapasa mo, yun lang din yung grado mo. Like sabi nga nila, kung ano yung itinanim mo, yun lang din yung aanihin mo. So let's now proceed to Section 2. So a teacher shall recognize that the interest and welfare of learners are his first and foremost concern and shall handle each learner justly and impartially. So this means that every student has its own uniqueness. Yeah, every student has their own talent. Every student has different ability. So a teacher should not compare the student's ability and must treat them fairly. Like for example, if ang student is magaling siyang sumulat, then ang isang student naman is magaling siya sa oral. So, we need to treat the students fairly because they have their own ability to showcase their kung ano yung nasa kanila. So, no favoritism should be practiced. So, Section 3. Under no circumstance shall a teacher be prejudiced nor discriminatory against any learner. So, what do you mean by that? So, this means that a teacher should be respectful also and be mindful with the words that they're using. Like for example, a teacher should not tell student A that he or she is not good as student B. So we need to think before we speak. Like in Section 2 na you need to treat the students fairly because they have their own capability. So we need to more mindful with the words that we are using, because not all students are brave enough to accept the criticism coming from the teacher. So that's what section 3 means. So section 4, a teacher shall not accept favors or gifts from learners, their parents or others, on their behalf in exchange for requested concessions, especially if underserved. So, in this section, it refers to the teacher to not accept any favor or any gifts coming from the learners or from their parent. Like for example, students will ask the teacher to make their grade higher. In exchange to that, they will give some expensive gifts. So, the teacher should not accept that kind of practice. It's a big no-no, because a teacher shall not accept any favors or any gifts coming from the learners to make the students' grade higher. So that's what section 4 means. Now, let's proceed to the section 5. A teacher shall not accept directly or indirectly any remuneration from tutorials other than what is authorized for such service. So parang pantay lang sila sa section 4. Ang kaibahan lang is gifts and favor yung nasa section 4. But this in section 5, remuneration means money involved. So in this section, a teacher should not accept any amount of money from students in any form of giving the money. For example, in any personal or via any digital transfer. So that's the section 5 means. Additional to section 5, a teacher should not accept any amount of money from students except kung it is authorized for such service. So here in section 6, a teacher shall base the evaluation of the learner's work on merit and quality of academic performance. So this means that the student's performance is the main criteria of his or her remark, and a teacher should acknowledge it. Note that a student's performance is the main criteria of the remark of the students. Like for example, let's say for example, kung ano lang yung ipinasa ng students, then yun lang din yung makukuha niya. So, if ang students is work hard for it, then they can get higher grade. So, that's what section 6 means. So, let's proceed to section 7. In a situation where mutual attraction and subsequent love develop between teacher and learner, the teacher shall exercise utmost professional discretion to avoid scandal, gossip, and preferential treatment of the learner. So, in this section, mutual attraction between students and a teacher is a big no-no. Hindi talaga siya pwede. To avoid problems and scandalous moment. Let's say, for example, if si teacher at si students, they have mutual attractions to each other. So, hindi talaga siya pinapractice. Because, the reason is, it will affect the name of the school and may cause the teacher license to be dismissed. So, it's okay na a love of a teacher to a students, but not in a mutual attractions. So, that was section 7 means. Now, we are here in section 8. A teacher shall not inflict corporal punishment on offending learners nor make deduction from their scholastic rating as a punishment for acts which are clearly not manifestation of poor scholarship. So in this section, a teacher should not make a student suffer for any inappropriate ways. Like for example, if a student may something that triggers a teacher, so in that case, a teacher should not punish the students or make his or her grade deducted. Now, section 9. A teacher shall ensure that conditions contributive to the maximum development of learners are adequate and shall extend needed assistance in preventing or solving learners' problem and difficulties. So this means that a teacher will instill knowledge and develop a student to his potential. So that's the work of a teacher. That's the novel work of a teacher which tumuturo sa mga estudyante to mold the students to become a better human being. So, and mold the students to become better and professional human being. So that's the novel work of being a teacher. Okay, let's proceed to Article 5, the teacher and the teaching community. Kung nagtataka kayo kung bakit wala akong partner, the reason is, nag-drop na po siya. So, okay, let's continue. The professional teacher is not an island. He or she works with other professional teachers, some more or less experienced than he or she is, colleague or teachers, partners, and collaborators. How a teacher relates to his or her colleague in the teaching profession determine if they become one's greatest allies and supporters or one's greatest enemies. So it means that you have to, as a professional teacher, you have to interact. You need to collaborate with your co-teachers, for it helps you to grow and to become more knowledgeable in your field and become more competent enough to teach the learners, to teach your students. Okay, section 1 here is, the teacher shall at all times be imbued with the spirit of professional loyalty, mutual confidence, and faith in one another, self-sacrifice for the common good, and full cooperation with colleagues when the best interest of the learners, the school, or the professional is at stake in any controversy. The teacher shall support one another. So in this section, it tells that the unity of the teacher shall be observed and applied. That's the most important. The unity and the unity. Like let's say for example, here at CFCST, during the accreditation period of all of our teachers are all on hand and preparing for that important event. So in result to that, our school passed the accreditation level. So now, pwede nang mag face-to-face. So that is what section 1 is all about. The unity. Note, the unity is, kung mayroong unity yung mga teachers, yung mga staff, then, kung mayroong event sa school, then madali lang siya because of the unity. Okay, section 2. A teacher is not entitled to claim for work not of his own and shall give due credit for the work of others which he may use. So this section refers to the correct citation and acknowledgement of the references you are using. Like for example, you are using a book in a teaching profession and you get some of the information from other textbook. So you should cite the book where you took the information and get credit to the author para hindi ka mapagkamalan na plagiarism. So in this section, kung gagawa ka ng lesson plan mo, kung gagawa ka ng topic mo, at kumuha ka ng references sa ibang book or like for example sa internet, kung may book ka man, so you need to cite the author, you need to cite the book kung saan mo kinuha yung information na ginamit mo para hindi ka mapagkamalan na plagiarism. Section 3. Before leaving his possession, a teacher shall organize and leave to his successor such a record and other data as are necessary to carry on the work. So this section means that as a professional teacher, if you retire or leave in your position, make sure that you organize all the necessary things needed by your successor. Hindi na if you leave your position, or if you retire, yung mga data, yung mga necessary na mga information, necessary na mga files, iiwan mo na lang kahit saan. So, you need to organize para naman hindi mahirapan yung susunod sa iyo. So, that's what section 3 means. Okay, we are now in section 4. A teacher shall hold and violate all confidential information concerning associate and the school, and shall not divulge to anyone documents which have not yet been officially released or remove records from the files without official permissions. So this means that as a professional teacher, you are not allowed to disseminate information unless there is a proper black and white document that was approved by the school. Also, in this section, you are not allowed to get files without informing the nakakataas sa iyo. Okay? Section 5. It shall be the responsibility of every teacher to seek correctiveness for what may appear to be an unprofessional and unethical conduct of any associate. So this may be done only if there is incontrovertible evidence for such conduct. So section 5 denotes that you are responsible also in correcting your colleague for inappropriate manners or conduct. But with that, you have to make thorough investigation and should not be biased. You have to secure enough evidence and proper information before doing it so. Hindi na ganito ganyan si ano, ganito ganyan si ano, marites. So wag ganyan. You need to if you're going to correct your colleague, you need to make investigation and you should not be biased. You have to secure enough evidences and proper information. So that's what section 5 means. Okay, section 6. A teacher may submit to the proper authorities any justifiable criticism against an associate, preferably in writing, without violating any right of the individual concerned. So this means that a teacher can complain. Yes, a teacher can complain to the right office through formal letter against his or her colleague with enough evidences and without violating the right of his or her colleague. A teacher can also complain, but with a formal letter. So that's what section 6 means. Okay, section 7. A teacher may apply for a vacant position for which he is qualified, provided that he respect the system of selection on the basis of merit and competence, provided further that all qualified candidates are given the opportunity to be considered. So in this section, it is unprofessional for a teacher to apply for a position for which he or she is not qualified. Let's say, for example, you are already an employee of CFCST and the institution are looking for an administrative officer. Now, you can apply for those positions as long as it's fit for the requirements you have. You can apply as long as you are qualified enough for those positions given. So if you think that you have all the qualifications and requirements needed, then go for it. Apply na. So, professionalism demands that selection is based on merit and competence. Competence. Nag-base siya sa competence. So, let's say other example. If yung hinahanap nila is naka-doctoral na, and then ikaw, masteral pa lang. So, fit ka ba sa posisyon na yon? So, syempre, hindi. Kasi ang hinahanap nila is doctoral. So, maybe, sa other position, doon ka na mafi-fit. Okay? So, that's what section 7 means. Okay, now, we are already in Article 6, the teacher and the higher authorities in the Philippines. I have here the section 1. A teacher shall make it his duty to make an honest effort to understand and support the legitimate policies of the school and the administration, regardless of the professional feeling or private opinions, and shall faithfully carry them out. So this means that it is unprofessional for a teacher to campaign against the legitimate policy of the school with which he or she disagree. So as a professional teacher, you need to support the legitimate policy even though you are against it. You need to understand that those policies are made for your own good. So, you need to note that you need to support the legitimate policy of the school because it is for your own good naman. So, that's what section 1 means. Section 2. A teacher shall not make any false accusation or charges against superiors, especially under anonymity. However, if there are valid charges, he should present such under oath to competent authority. So this means that a teacher should not make false accusation against superiors. Dapat hindi ka basta-basta na maglagay-lagay ng mga kahit anong chismis. So, with anonymity, which means anonymous. So, unless you present yourself under oath. Okay? Now, let's proceed to section 3. A teacher shall transact all official business through channels except when special conditions warrant a different procedure, such as when reforms are advocated but are opposed by the immediate superior, in which case that the teacher shall appeal directly to the appropriate higher authority. So in this section, this means that a teacher shall only transact all business through channel unless it is permitted. Section 4. A teacher individually or as a part of a group has a right to seek redress against injustice and discrimination, and to the extent possible shall raise his grievances within democratic processes. In doing so, he shall avoid jeopardizing the interests and welfare of learners whose right to learn must be respected. So now, in these sections, as a professional teacher, as a teacher, you have the right to complain. Sabi ko nga kanina, a teacher can also complain, but in a right way. Kung magko-complain na teacher, siguraduhin na nasa tamang daan. If they will, you have to make sure that the student is protected. Okay? So, section 5. A teacher has a right to invoke the principle that appointments, promotions, and transfers of teacher are made only on the basis of merit and need in the interest of the service. So, it means that a teacher can appeal whatever appointments, whatever promotions, whatever transaction, as long as they have valid reason. Like for example, si Anna. Let's say for example, si Anna. Si Anna is a teacher in CFCST Maine. And she was about to be transferred in Piquet Extension. So, Anna has the right to appeal. But, dapat meron siyang valid reason. So that's what section 5 means. Okay, understand? So now, section 6. A teacher who accepts a position assume or contractual obligations to live up to his contract, assuming full knowledge of the employment's terms and conditions. Section 6 means that when a teacher accepts the position, he or she need to fulfill the position given to them and have enough knowledge to do it so. Okay? Okay, you need to note that section 6, when a teacher accept the position, so it means that if she or he accept the position, he or she need to fulfill the position given to them. Okay? So do you now all understand? So let us remember that code of ethics for professional teacher is very important in the teaching professions. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for listening. God bless.